We just came back from watching Fighting with My Family! Welcome to Ring the Bell, this is DS.
And I'm Lola Star.
And we just came back from the advanced screening of Fighting with My Family, produced by The Rock.
Yes.
Story about the Paige. Look at us, rapping her so well.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I
just want to say, we are in a really lucky time where we have a Netflix show about women's wrestling, reality show.
Now we're getting movies.
And a movie now. Yes. And a very good one, too. I was like, oh my god, it's such a great time to be a women's wrestling fan.
It is.
Oh, before we get into anything, this will be spoiler review.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert!
And I have to say, even though we know what happened to Paige.
There was a few remixes here.
There were a lot of remixes, but also this movie was full of surprises, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually very different. Let's quickly go through the cast because Florence Pugh, she did such a good job.
And she really just looked like Paige. A lot of the time in the movie, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I could see Paige really just doing this. Like, this looks just like her.
They look really similar.
Yes.
When I first saw like a leaked photo of their filming, I thought she looked like a Disney star.
Yeah, I get that vibe.
And I'm like, she's not Paige. Her acting was phenomenal.
It was really good, yeah.
Because it was a very difficult role where Paige, she like holds a lot of things in, and it was a lot of like inner fight that she had to go through. It was about finding yourself and all that good stuff. Her feud with the brother, that was very it's not like an outwardly feud, but it's very subtle. And there were a lot of subtle moments that she had to go through, but it was very well done. Of course, Vince Vaughn was a Hutch Morgan. He was a WWE head trainer, it seems like.
He was like the head coach.
The head coach. She's one of the people who's like, he's not a sugarcoater.
No, not at all. He's very blunt.
He's very blunt.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it more later in this review, but he breaks people's dreams.
Yeah, he was pretty harsh. Like,
he's very harsh.
But at the end, you kind of find out why he's that way, and it's in a sick way. It almost comes from love.
It was very harsh, but he was character full of heart.
Yeah.
It was very warm. And then The Rock.
Yes.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. The Rock as The Rock.
As The Rock. I just thought he would be in like there a couple times.
Yeah. But he wasn't in that much. I was actually surprised.
What? I was surprised that he was in there
at all.
3-4 times. And then he had a pretty long scenes, I thought.
I felt like it was decent. I felt like he probably centered himself because, that's a selling point.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Not everybody, unfortunately, knows about the things they should know about. So that kind of helped to bridge that gap, I feel like.
Yeah. He was very warm person too.
Yeah.
It seems very genuine, their moment. And I'm sure that he actually didn't talk to Paige like that when Paige made her debut and all that stuff. It's not him.
But he might have been like a mentor. He might have.
Maybe.
He may have called her. Because I feel like he's too busy to like be there that much.
From what I saw from trailer, I thought The Rock would be just like a flashy role and get out. But he also added a lot of heart to the movie. So I really liked that. Let's go to your favorite characters.
So the NX Trinity that they had, very diva.
You already formed the stable name, NX Trinity.
They were very diva. It was 3. One was like Eve Torres knockoff.
When we did the trailer review, we thought this was Eve, this is Summer, but it was just, they were just wearing their attire, but they were completely different characters, right? There were fictional characters from NXT, and they were all blonde bimbos.
But you know what?
Like the blonde bimbos, that was how they were presented at first.
True.
And then, of course, there was a little twist.
And see, I like that.
So we're gonna get into that. That was actually a really good twist. The family, Zach, the brother of Paige, was actually very big role in this movie. Because we thought it's going to be mostly about Paige. But the brother actually had a very quintessential role in this movie where this made it into like...
It gave it another layer.
Yes.
More soul-searching.
His role made this movie into like more than another typical sports movie. It made it definitely more complicated. The parents...
Oh, I love the
So good, of course, from Game of Thrones, the Cersei. She was amazing. Both the parents were absolutely amazing.
They had a lot of personality.
Yeah, and then like the whole like the family and the wrestling, the people who's training there.
Yeah.
That warmed my heart.
Oh, like, I loved it.
Yeah, it was so cool. And of course, there were a couple WWE superstars, notably Zelina Vega as AJ Lee.
AJ Lee.
I think she looked at the tape multiple times.
Oh, what AJ said and how she did it. Oh yeah.
I mean, the lines were similar, but the way she said it was like almost.
Yeah, like the tone of voice and everything. I was like, it was very good.
There's a surprise cameo by 2 superstars.
Oh yeah, we had Sheamus and Big Show.
Yes, it was super short.
Yeah,
super brief, but like
it was nice.
It was super cute. Yeah. Amazing cast, big stars. Florence Pugh, again, she was absolutely stunning.
Very good.
I watched her movie, Lady Macbeth. It's like a historical piece. And she's the main role. And from that to this, it's a big shift, and she kills it.
So she's got like different shades of herself that she can.
Absolutely,
she's pretty young too.
She's very young, so she's definitely a star. I definitely look forward to seeing more from her. Yeah. This movie, let's talk about like different talking points. So this was a sports movie. Do you like sports movie?
I don't know, like sports movie, like what, like Love and Basketball?
Yeah, Love and Basketball. I don't know, like Bring It, like I don't know,
yeah,
like,
okay, yeah, I did kind of like those.
Like that kind of like Rudy, League of Their Own, like Space Jam. I don't know.
I loved Space Jam. Yes.
I personally don't like sports movie a lot. It's very formulaic. It's the underdog who goes through hardship and like, you can't do it. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. And then they do the training and all that stuff. Okay.
I think from the marketing of this movie, it was kind of marketed as like a comedy sports movie. Okay, this is gonna be a light, fun time, especially with the things that I love. It's women's wrestling, but it was so much more.
Yeah, it was way more than I expected, to be honest. I thought it was gonna be like just cut and dry, almost like a documentary, but just her life.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah,
but this movie really holds weight because it was it was full of heart.
Yeah. Big moment for me that actually got me a little like choked up was the part where she got officially signed to NXT, and her family and everyone just sent her off, and she was like, like her brother told her, don't cry, because if you cry, then mom's gonna lose it, and then you're not gonna want to go. And so she said, everybody died. And then she, like, walked off and, like, and it just kind of made me think. I was like, it kind of put me in that moment because I'm like, that could potentially be me one day. And I'm just like, and, like, being on the road, you're like, you have obligations to be touring for a certain amount of time. So you can't just, come and see DS and argue on Ring the Bell, So it's like, it kind of made me like, that's kind of sad. But it's, like, happy because this is, like, everything you ever wanted, but it's also scary because it's like sink or swim at this point,
Yeah, that's like a flip side of trying to achieve your dream. Sometimes you just have to leave what you love behind. All my family's back in Korea. Yeah. So that's something like I think about a lot, actually. Like the airport is such a sad place. And I mean, ultimately, I came to America because I started speaking English after watching WWE. And, I wanted to like work there once in my life. And I did. So I don't know, like this movie dealt with it a lot. It's about like the sacrifice you make to achieve your dream or sometimes your family's dream.
Yes.
And that was very well portrayed here.
They were really good at finding those different moments in your life, like that you relate to, not getting something that you wanted or getting what you wanted, but at the cost of somebody that you care about losing out, and having to say goodbye to people that you love, and like you said, making those sacrifices to do what you got to do.
And that's what WWE superstars do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a lot of twists that we didn't see it coming.
Definitely when she was at the training for the tryout. And she was literally the only girl, and she was the only one picked. That I didn't see coming.
Yeah, because when we see like this movie like this, you usually go on with your best friend or like your brother in this case, and the brother was cut right away. We knew it because we know her story, but then for people it would be like, the twist, and then the blonde bimbos, or turned out to be actually like real people. So all that twist, it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, and I actually thought that the girls were gonna be the mean ones, which I think is good because that's usually how it is. Like that's why I like fight so much for the diva types, because it's like as soon as you see them, it's like okay. They're just like how she thought of them. Oh, they're just models. They're talking about me. They're they don't really care about this. They're just doing it for the fame. And then you find out one is doing it for her daughter. The other one really does care about this and wants to push through. So
yeah, they definitely brought this wrestler versus diva, which is like all the women's wrestling fans' favorite topic. Yeah. They had a twist, and then they were all there for a reason. And then Paige also had to learn that they're more than just tits and asses.
Right.
A lot of sports movies or movies about women succeeding, they try to pit women against each other.
Yeah.
Especially like sports movies, because it's about like someone winning.
Competition and everything.
But this movie knows that wrestling is collaboration.
Yeah.
It's like a dance together.
Exactly.
This movie like understands that, and it tried to talk about like women getting together and then making magic together. So that was really interesting. I really liked that.
I did love
that. And then there were a little bit about like, do you have to be sexy? Do you have to be in that mainstream look?
Yes.
They talked about it a little bit.
I feel like it kind of spoke for itself because I feel like she didn't know who she was just yet. She was very much just kind of like she loved it. Yeah. But she was very much going through the emotions because like she she wasn't there mentally.
Yeah.
Her brother was like already like, okay, I'm in WWE. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. I know how I'm gonna do it. Like, I know every wrestler based off their boots. And
Absolutely.
She's just like, well, you know, this is my life. So
Exactly.
and like, I mean, it's great to be here.
Oh, find yourself, know who you really are, all that. I mean, that's very like trite themes of like sports movies like this.
Yes.
But it was really interesting because Paige was part of a wrestling family. So
she's literally just born into it.
yeah, so she
and thrown out there.
Exactly. She herself didn't know. She has an X factor, but she herself didn't know why exactly who she is in the wrestling scene and why she wants to do it. So it was really interesting for her finding that, going through that journey of finding who she is.
Right. Because she felt like she had to be, because of like the people she looked up to, like they looked up to Stone Cold and The Rock, and they're these like larger than life characters, and she felt like, okay, I have to do that. I have to find my Paige and Rock, and it's like, no, you are a weirdo from, you know,
exactly
Norwich. Be that, like embrace that.
And she also was wrestling because of her family. Like her mom literally named her based on her wrestling name.
Right.
She was going because the family was pushing her. But it was about her coming into her own terms about why I'm doing this. And, you know, part of a reason is because there is a family that is rooting for her, and that is completely fine.
Yeah, she had a lot of support. I'm glad she did have the support from her family and everything, and like the people she grew up with in wrestling.
Yes.
Because brother just like, man, he just dropped her. I felt so bad.
So let's talk about that, because this is different from every other sports movies, because it shed light to a person who's succeeding, but also it shed light to someone who failed.
Yes.
Who doesn't have the it factor, the X factor. The movie was very blunt about that.
Yeah.
That this is a business where you need to have the X factor to make it. And there's no sugarcoating. This is not a fair game. You just gotta have it. Going through Zach's journey.
Just like getting himself up to that moment, like with everything training and, you know, coming up with his own finishing maneuver and his own like, you know, that's what really set them aside from each other, because Zach knew who he is. He knew who he wanted to be. He knew his finisher. He knew his name. You know, he had his backstory ready, and when he got there to just be like,
he wanted it so much, but he still didn't get it because he didn't have the X factor.
He didn't have that. He was just missing that that thing.
So what was so interesting is seeing how he comes to his peace, where just like Paige is a very important person, being a Divas champion, he also is a very important person of the British wrestling scene. She's making literally a blind kid a wrestler. I didn't even know that was real. Is that real?
Yeah, I think because at the end they showed that
he is
still training, and that guy did actually become a professional.
So he is a superstar of his own. Like that
is incredible.
Exactly. That was such a great message, and that's something that sports movie never show.
Yeah.
So I really love that. So we are, of course, we know everything about wrestling. It was like a very intro to wrestling too. Like I think we could have really enjoyed it because they had a lot of references, Cameo. I love that they put like Michelle McCool winning the Divas Championship, Trish Stratus' retirement. They put those stuff in there for us to enjoy. And they're like, okay, this movie knows the women's wrestling, women's revolution. But also, they were very kind to non-wrestling fans. One of the first jokes was that wrestling's not real.
Oh my god.
It goes right into it. Wrestling's fake. What do you like it?
Yeah, it was very informative. Like at the same time, it gave a lot of the terms that we know.
Yeah.
Like heel and face. Yeah. But it also they also explained it too. Like, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta get the crowd behind you because you're the baby face.
Exactly. Blah, blah, blah. It took us to the performance center. Yeah. The promos, the promo battles. Yeah. Just the divas. You know. We are the whiny wrestling fans, so we have to talk.
I whine.
So we have to talk about the realism because we were like, this is not correct.
Oh my gosh. Okay. First of all, the first thing that stuck out like a sore thumb for me, the gears. Oh my gosh, that was just bothering me.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like, because when I'm thinking of the moment, Paige had her purple outfit on, and this one she was wearing like her NXT like black. And I don't remember her ever wearing a vest, you know, the top and bottom. It was like a bra. And then AJ Lee, I guess they couldn't use her likenesses because of whatever reason.
I'm not sure, So did that bother you?
That bothered me. Like, I mean, it was still good. I still, like, loved the moment, but it was, like, certain things. And, like, the way the match went down, I was like, this did not happen. AJ never called her a freak. And so I'm like, and that promo afterwards, which I loved, because she did say that at one point, talking about being the freaks, the geeks,
the
and the misfits. So that was good, but I was just like, that's not how it happened. happened, but I mean, it was cool.
Yeah,
it was so good.
if you are going into this movie like looking for the real version, like the same thing from what actually happened, it's close. It's surprisingly close, but the movie's not afraid of changing things up to make more sense.
It's like we read the book, and so we know how it happened, but then when you go to the movie, they change it or they alter it.
Because they skipped the entire NXT Women's Championship reign and everything. Right. So it definitely changes a lot. It's not realistic. The Rock's not going to come to you and then tell you that you're going to debut tomorrow.
Well, you never know. Like,
I wasn't bothered. I actually really... I mean, I knew that's like wrong. It was fun.
Yeah, but it was like so... It had me so reeled in. I almost didn't care.
It was very well done.
It was so good, yeah.
Also, I learned it was Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah. You didn't know that? She was a stunt double. I seen her in the movie because every time they cut away, I seen like... And then the way she sells too, because whenever she flips over, she's always like, oh! Like, so I could tell. I mean, I don't know. I'm weird, but I could tell. Overall, I loved it.
Overall, loved it.
Loved it.
I went in, again, with kind of a low expectation. I just thought it's going to be like a popcorn, just fun movie.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of different layers and different complication and a lot of heart into it. I really liked it.
I loved it.
If you are kind of worried that if you like drag your friend to it, and if you're worried that they're not gonna like it because
understand,
that because they're not a wrestling fan, they will like it.
They will like it.
It's a great movie. So
plus, Paige is so lovable anyway. Like they're like English humor and everything, and like the certain things they say, and like it starts off like on a great foot.
Yeah. If you watched it, let us know what you thought about the movie. What's your favorite scene? What's your favorite kind of plot point? Let us know. What's the next movie you want to see? Like
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
Yes. Because I would just love to see from start to finish, like all of her, like dealing with, you know, the legacy. Because I'm sure she's had a lot of stories.
Wait. Are you telling me that she's going to take another opportunity?
Well, because I think it would be so good.
Okay.
I genuinely think it would be good.
So I went to film school. I wrote one script and it was about Lita.
Oh, you want to see? Oh, I think she'd be a good one.
I think it would be good. So my script was about Lita and her whole Edge situation. Her being booed out of the arena and all that stuff. So I wrote about that. I thought it was very interesting.
How, and like that storyline with her having the miscarriage and everything. Like
but
there's like a lot.
But more so like where the reality blends in with the story, where Lita had to use her personal storyline into the wrestling story.
Yeah,
I just thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
So I wrote about it. So I want to see that from Lita. I think Trish's story will be just too boring because she was just perfect.
But that's what I'm saying, because like it's the same with Charlotte, but it's like I feel like there's a lot.
Charlotte went through some shit.
Oh yeah, because you could talk about her brother and then the legacy and
father,
like all of that pressure.
Sasha Banks,
her finding herself. Her finding herself and Natty helping her.
I mean, she wrote a book.
So. Oh my gosh, well they could totally do it.
And of course, there's an AJ Lee TV show coming up.
Oh yeah.
So there's more to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching our review. Hope we can do more movie reviews together.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. So you can find me at Nintendo Boy DS.
And you can follow me at The Little Star.
Bye.